Memphis, because I know everybody wants to know sort of where the updates also are with Memphis. How has it gone, and where are you at, sort of thing, with that? Obviously, people have seen posts onto Facebook, and I think people will respect the fact there's only a certain amount that you can say or can't say. So I'll let you speak.
Well, I guess we start with December 20th, 2012. I think, because some people may not be aware of the agreement that Diana and I came to with the Board of Health. And I guess we could start there because that was, basically a good faith agreement. And I think, just based on the questions that I've been getting from people and some comments that people are saying about, contracts and judges and all this stuff, what people have to understand is that currently the only contract, the only legally binding contract that was ever signed was signed by me and Mike Fitzpatrick last year, July 24th, 2012, the day we took Memphis home. Any other agreements, verbal or otherwise, have all been good faith agreements. They have not been contracts. So, neither me nor the Board of Health nor Memphis's alleged caretaker, none of us are bound by any contracts legally. We're not bound by any judges or court orders. The agreement in December was a good faith agreement, and obviously Diana and I kept our mouths shut for 8 months really, until I opened my mouth up about a month and a half ago when things started to turn for the worse. So there aren't any court orders. There's no judge's orders. There's no legally binding contracts out there. These were all good faith agreements. They were basically, one side said, hey, Jeff, Diana, you're going to get Memphis back if you abide by these things, and and that was it. It was, it's not like we sat down at an office somewhere with lawyers and signed an official legal contract. We didn't. In fact, the only thing that we signed, we were the only people that signed it on that day. Now, it's my understanding that the alleged caretaker also signed a document with the Board of Health as well, but that was not the same document that Diana and I signed. So currently, nobody is bound by any contracts. And if you want to chime in at any time, feel free. I guess
it's fine. Carry on.
I'm just trying to, because people have been asking me questions, and I'm just trying to clear things up without, just factually. I don't want to offer my opinion about any. I'm trying not to offer my opinion about, what, the fact that the Board of Health had a good faith agreement on their part. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just trying to offer the fact. A big question that I've been getting is, I guess I have used it a lot, and I didn't even realize it, the word alleged. That I guess I have been, and again, it was brought to my attention by a few people that I keep using alleged caretaker, and they wanted to know why. And I guess the reason being is, I don't know who has Memphis. The only thing that, I guess, for lack of a better word, proof that Diana and I had asked for was on June 25th, and I mentioned this, I believe, on my radio show back in August or September, whenever it was. I'm not even sure. I specifically requested a picture of Memphis next to a newspaper, and the person that I asked of this said that they would get it to me in a couple of days. They just didn't have a newspaper handy. So I said fine, and I did get a picture, and I'm not going to share that picture with anyone because I said I wouldn't, and I don't want to break my word. But the picture had no newspaper in it. So I guess that's why I've been using the word alleged, because I only know what I've been told as far as where Memphis allegedly went. I believe that where they say he went originally, but I have no proof that he's still there now. I also have no reason to believe he's not there. So, does that make sense?
Yeah. So does the Bloomfield Health Department have anything to do with Memphis at all anymore? Where does the ownership actually stand with him as far as you're concerned?
Okay, well, I think it was on October 3rd, one of the councilmen who is now actually going to be our next mayor, Councilman Venezia, or Mayor Venezia, I should say respectfully, he called a special meeting, and he invited, obviously, me and Diana, another member of the council, a couple of other town people, and some representatives of the Board of Health, 2 Board of Health members, the Board of Health secretary, who is also the is also the director of the health department, and the Board of Health attorney were present. A lot of things went on during that meeting. It was just, it wasn't volatile. It was a very calm meeting, and everybody was speaking respectfully to each other. There was nothing, spoken to out of the, out of the norm, and everybody was, polite and respectful. But they were very adamant that they have nothing to do with it anymore. And the Board of Health attorney specifically was very adamant, waving his hands, we have nothing to do with this anymore. So, which is ironic, and for people who have seen my recent Facebook post, I received an email from the alleged caretaker stating that they had a conversation with the Board of Health attorney, Ron Rickey, and Ron Rickey advised them to tell me to not contact them anymore. So I was like, okay, they have nothing to do with this, then why the hell are they butting in? So. Again, questions arose from that. Well, how do you know that they actually talked to Ronald Rickey? And it's a very valid question. I don't know. I'm just going by what they told me. So either A, they didn't talk to him and they just said that they did, or even worse, someone is impersonating Ron Rickey. So those are the 2 options.
Yeah. Got you.
So it's
exactly.
We were under the impression that this rehabilitation was going to continue, and we remained hopeful, and we were trying to do everything. The only thing I stopped doing, and admittedly, I admitted this to everyone, I stopped being quiet, and that was when I did my radio show, in which I didn't say anything derogatory or inflammatory or untrue. I was merely stating facts, the facts that I had at my disposal.
Yeah. And
what prompted me to break my silence was the fact that, on June 25th, we had Diana, and Diana was on the line. It was me who did the talking. I had a conversation with the caretaker, and it went very well. And we talked obviously about Memphis and a couple of other, trivial things, nothing relating to this. But, we pretty much left off where they had asked me to email them the documents that I had, so I did, and that I offered to come out and volunteer, and they said okay. And then the very next morning, after this really delightful, friendly conversation, the very next morning I wake up to an email telling me to leave them alone, and if they ever feel Memphis will be adoptable, they'll contact me and my lawyer. And that I'm paraphrasing. Right. It was something to the effect, they'll let me and my lawyer know when he can pass an evaluation or something to that effect. And then... Right. Then Diana and I had reached out, some time passed. We let some time pass because we never wanted to overwhelm this person with harassing inquiries and stuff, you know what I mean? Because that was part of the good faith agreement. And, the first half of the year, we sent 3 emails. That was it. We sent 3 emails over the course of 5 or 6 months, and none of them were responded to. That prompted our June 25th phone call. So then some additional time passed, and we called again, left a message, and that message was not returned. Our phone call was not returned. So what happened was we actually wound up calling from a different number other than our own, and the person answered, and we had mentioned, well, Diana did most of the talking in this particular phone call, and Diana had mentioned that she left a message, and the person said, oh, she didn't get it, her phone was down for a week. So the weird thing there is we didn't say when we called. So, whatever. So, fill in the blanks. But at any rate, the conversation started. Diana obviously was emotional, very respectful and very polite, and it was my interpretation that the polite and respectful tone of Diana was not reciprocated, and we'll leave it at that. So during this phone call, they told us flat out, we're not getting him back. And then she mentioned a lawyer, and we asked for the lawyer's name, and they hung up on us. And then after that, I got an email, yesterday or the other day, I forget when, telling, again, stating about the Ron Rickey advisory to tell us to leave them alone. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. And a couple of other things. I saw some comments. I didn't entertain them because there's they look like new comments, and obviously, everybody knows about SaveMemphisNJ.com that we put up last year. That page is still up. We still have all the FAQs. We still have the timeline. We still have all the documentation. We still have all that stuff up there. It's for anyone to see. It's public. If anyone wants any additional information, they can get anything through public record. It's all open and public. So and one of the things I saw, it was on, I think it was on the Save Memphis Facebook page, and I'm not sure, or it could have been someone who private messaged me. I'm not even sure because it's like all this information coming at once. Yeah. So now they're saying that I drugged Memphis when I had him, which is I don't even know how to respond. I don't even know how to respond to that. So.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm not being funny, but stupid things like that, I'm not being funny. It's never come out at any time during the whole time me and you have been doing these shows. Not one allegation of that has ever come out. Not once. And I can honestly say, hand on heart, that's never been sent to me of such an accusation either. So that's just whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
it could just be a Facebook crazy. So I'm really not worried about it. What are they going to do? Tell me, we've heard it all. So, all the FAQs, all the things, it's all public. Yeah. Now, it's quite funny because Karen Vander must be reading my mind in the chat room because I was just about to say to you, let's just sit. I'm going to sit in the garden fence and put something to you. I'm not being funny. You know that I do two sides of every story, okay? And today's no different, as much as I love you very much. But let's just say, everybody's got obviously everything against the caretaker, and you yourself know how Bloomfield has actually been with you. Now, how about the fact that this lady has just done what she wanted to do because she feels that, it was just the right thing. She was put the dog to her, and she's took over him and everything. And plus, she's had him for a few months. How do you sit with the fact that maybe this person isn't a bad person? It's just the fact that she's been instructed, like you, not to say stuff, not to contact you or whatever. I guess I'll answer it in two ways. First and foremost, I don't know this person, and I'm not even going to comment on, what kind of person it is because I don't know. I understand this person is in rescue and helps a lot of animals. For that, I am personally grateful and respect the fact that that person rescues animals. I think it's wonderful. And, my guess is we're probably a lot more alike than we would like to believe. The fact that we have a love for rescue animals. I also, and I don't know if I believe this, but, I kind of get the impression that, you know, this caretaker, like Memphis, might also be a victim here of all the lies and misconceptions that they may have been told about what went on. I don't know what conversations they had with the health department. I have no idea, and I don't know. You know, who knows? You know, what I do know is that the person did read a couple of line items from a contract, from not a contract, from an agreement that they had that was supposed to be identical to the one that we had, and the agreement that we had, and I'm paraphrasing, stated that we would get updates on Memphis at the caretaker's discretion. This person on our phone call most recently had mentioned that her agreement said that we were allowed only one update. So that tells me that she got different paperwork than we did. So, you know, I don't think she's responsible for that. You know? You know, so
exactly.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. But, you know, I'm just seeing that, you know, there was so much opinions over Memphis and obviously and everything. And obviously I'm thinking to myself that this person, by the signs of it, is a rescue, like, you know, what we've said. And obviously there's a lot of hate around for this person, but we don't actually know what is actually going on around there. We don't know what she's been told or anything. But obviously the public is up in uproar over Memphis. And then obviously there is so much hearsay, and it starts. We all know what it's like being an animal advocate. A dog that, you know, gets seen once suddenly turns out to be something else. Do you know what I mean? And this is where it's difficult, you know. And I'm just trying to see it from both sides. I'm thinking, if Bloomfield have actually lied to you so much, how much has gone the other way too? Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying that you're wrong, and I'm not saying she's wrong. I'm just saying that, you know what I mean?
No, we realize that that's a very real possibility, that the information that was given to the caretaker is, I mean, hey, God knows what it is. Who knows? Who knows what they told her? You know?
Yeah.
You know, what I do know,
Jeff,
you know,
So can I ask you, and I'm going to put this in the sense of, if you could have proof that Memphis was actually okay, it was healthy, it was happy, it was loved, it was cared for, and everything else that you could have possibly given him, would you be happy to say, actually, that's fine? And Memphis is happy? Because I know as an animal advocate, my thing is, and as much as I love you and Jeff and Diana, and that, long day, as much as I love you and Diana, and obviously all of us were for Memphis, my thing is I would just love to see that this dog is happy, healthy, and fine. Do you know what I mean? What's your thoughts on that? Or are you on to the fact of, no, you and Diana just want him back?
Well, I know you're good friends with Howard, okay? And, you know, I'm good friends with Howard.
Yeah.
And, you know, many other people I'm close with. They can attest to the fact that since this whole thing got blown up last year, we have maintained the same position that, first and foremost, we want Memphis back in our home where he was thriving. However, and we've been saying this since practically day one, that we started this whole thing, to save his life, because regardless of what the Board of Health says, euthanasia was on the table. So obviously we started this whole thing to save his life and to make sure he wound up in a home environment, not euthanasia or sanctuary. And we were and still are. If Memphis was in a loving home environment where he was, you know, surrounded by love and good care, then you know how much of a huge victory that is? Obviously we want him back because of, you know, our feelings for him. And, you know, this is, you know, I mean, you can't pick what dogs just touch you a certain way. You can't. And I love all my fosters. I do. Yep. Some get into my heart in a different way than others. And some of those I kept. You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's happened, you know, and, This is my problem, okay? Why all the secrecy? That's all. Why all the secrecy then? If he's romping in the fields and he's all well and loved and cared for, why all the secrecy?
Yeah.
You know, and quite frankly, go ahead.
But this is what I'm saying to you. You've been told to shut up and not speak. You've been told not to say anything. You've been told you're not to discuss it, you're not to do anything for all these months. And to be fair, you and Diana have respected that. So we don't know that at the end of the day, it's not exactly the same for her.
Okay, well, it's quite possible that they had a good faith agreement too, but they're not. We have not seen any legally binding contracts that, with anything to do with anyone in South Dakota, and they have been requested via Open Public Records Act. They have been requested to town employees, the health department. There is nothing that exists, according to them.
Yeah.
So if they say nothing exists, so I can only say, okay, they're telling me nothing exists, so nothing exists.
Yeah. Now, obviously, on your agreement, you were told not to speak and not to do various things. What was the changing point for you to be able to then start talking? What made you then say, John, I've just had it now. I need to say what I've got to say because I've took so much. What was the breaking point for you?
A couple of breaking points. First one, obviously, I referenced that June 25th conversation, which was very friendly, and then the very next day, the tone completely changed, and I got an email telling me to leave them alone out of nowhere. And this all happened in the matter, or, you know, we spoke June 25th at night. I woke up to the email in my email box in the morning telling me to leave them alone. So in a matter of hours, everything changed. And then there was also, and again, I say this reluctantly, but obviously the rescue community, as vast as it is also very small. And I know that the caretaker has told, I don't know how many people, I just know of a couple, that Memphis is there. But it was really the true turning point was the first change in heart on June 26th when I got that email saying leave them alone. And then obviously, I had my radio show and then we had this other conversation, and where they told us that we're not getting them back.
Yeah. So, see, this is the thing. It's just so difficult, right, sitting on the garden fence, right? And you know me, I've always sat on the garden fence for everything, absolute everything, and I have backed you guys up to the hill, and nothing is changing, okay? Let me just say that. Absolutely nothing is changing. But I had somebody email me today, and I have been emailing back and forth all day, and let me just make sure Cathy's still here. I think she still is on the actual line. Hold on a minute. Yeah, she's still here. She was so quiet. I thought I'd just make sure she's still here. And today, myself and Cathy and the caretaker have spoken on the phone. And I have got to say, Jeff, we were on the phone for quite some time, and I am not going to discuss where she is, who she is, or anything, but you are indeed right, she does do rescue. I have got to say that she's an advocate, she's one of us, and I can honestly say that my stomach is churning because this lady told me about the different threats that she's had, that she's been told that he is going to be stolen. She has worried about the other rescues that she's had, and I know that you would understand this because you are in rescue yourself. You've got fosters and everything, and I know that you can sit on the garden fence for this and understand where she's coming when she says she is worried about her safety, the dogs that she's with, and obviously her home. Now, Cathy will back me up on this, that this lady was sincere. She obviously loves Memphis, and I said to her that the whole public have actually fallen in love with Memphis. And I said to her, the reason that we're all on board, and I said to her, I apologized to her, because, at the end of the day, maybe my shows have actually caused her heartache and pain and suffering for somebody who is actually fighting for the same hymn sheet that all of us are. All of us have all wanted what was best for Memphis, whether that was with you or if he went to a good home like you've said. She wants exactly the same thing, the exact same thing. And I've got to say to you, Jeff, honestly, she spoke to us from the heart. It was definitely not a made-up conversation. You could tell by the tone in her voice. And, and even to the point where she was quite upset by the fact of all the death threats and everything. And she said, all she's tried to do was do the best for Memphis and what she was asked to do. And she was asked to shut up. She didn't want her location going out there. She didn't want her name going out there. She didn't want her rescue going out there. And none of us would. If I had a dog here that I was looking after on the same thing, I wouldn't want my house and my address and my phone number put out there and everything else. And it's worrying that somebody that has done so much has been put in that position. And I also said to her that I think Bloomfield are responsible for the fact that they have messed you about, and they've also messed her about too. And I think that they are responsible for putting two very good advocates in a hell of a position. In a hell of a position.
I echo my sentiments from earlier that that we have an inkling that she may have been a victim of this too. I can. Yeah. The only thing is that we had quite a few very nice conversations, and we don't know why it changed. And I'm very, very sorry if that person has experienced, especially things because, Diana and I have experienced our share of of personal attacks here as well, so we can certainly identify and empathize with that, and, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Thing here is that, and I guess, I can't tell you how many people over the course, since September 20th, or actually no, I didn't know where Memphis went initially, but how many people had asked us where, and we've never said anything. And I guess it's come to my attention that a couple of people said that they may know where he is, and first and foremost, it didn't come from us. Okay, we never divulged that because we did not, A, want to risk our chances at getting Memphis back, which is our priority, and B, risk anyone else having to go through what we went through, So the only exception I take is that throughout most of the time that Memphis was shipped out of New Jersey, nobody knew where he was. Okay, and we were told by the caretaker that they were experiencing threats for a year now. Nobody knew where he was. So how do you get threats when nobody knows where he is? But again, now But Jeff, you know as well as I do that at the end of the day, it was put out there, and I don't know where it came from, okay? But I'm not saying who or whatever because I don't know myself. But it was put out there of the area, and you know as well as I do that was only a small area, that there was only so many rescues. It wouldn't take rocket science to dig around and get that. That happened. What's that? Sorry, carry on, Jeff. Sorry. Oh, yeah, no, that happened November 9th of last year in court, that the state of the transfer came out during lawyer arguments or whatever you call it. That was, so, I guess if someone really wanted to find out, they could.
Yeah. Let me just say that the caretaker didn't want to come on the show, and I can understand that. She's upset. She's had so many threats. Obviously, she's worried about her other dogs and everything, and obviously, I can honestly say, Jeff, that she loves Memphis very much, and Cathy will back me up on this. She loves him very, very much. She spoke very highly of him. She said
I have no doubt about that.
Different things about him. Do you know what I mean? Now, I've just got to read this. This is what she sent for me to read out to you. It's not very big because it's no point. I mean, there was not loads to say as far as what, but this is what she wanted me to read out onto the show to you all. He is doing very, very well here. His aggression issues are being worked on every day. At this point, he is not adoptable due to these issues. I have asked to be kept from the public for the well-being of Memphis as well as myself. I'm sending you a few updated pictures of him taken from the day he arrived up to today. Thank you for the understanding and getting the word out that this dog, Memphis, is in no way in danger and is being very well cared for. And she said to Cathy and myself, she said, there is no way that she will ever, ever, ever let him be euthanized. She said, in her opinion and the things that's going on, he is not adoptable, but she said he is being very well looked after, that he is in a bedroom, he's in the house, he is not outside, he is not in the cold, he's looked after and spoiled. And we have actually got pictures to put out onto Facebook right now, and it's actually got documents that were sent as well and everything, and we are going to put them straight up onto the Ask Sue Radio Show Network, because I think it's time that the bickering stopped. I think it's time that people stopped accusing, and I think it's time that these threats stopped, because at the end of the day, Memphis is safe and well and happy, and this lady is been absolutely fantastic in looking after him, and she's put her life, her home, and her other dogs in rescue to save a dog. And I don't care what anybody says, that deserves respect from us all, and I think that it has got to stop. I think that it's disgusting that advocates have threatened somebody and done all of this, and they don't even know who a person is. I think it's wrong. And do you know what? And as much as I blame the people that are threatened, do you know what? The people I blame the most is Bloomfield for letting this go on for far too long. Jeff, at the end of the day, they should have said to you, if they weren't going to give you Memphis, they should have said, we're not giving you. That's it. End of story, mate. I'm sorry, but no. He's gone to this, and that's the end of it. There is no way that they should have put you and Diana into this for so long and give you all this heartache and all this upset, and upset so much of us public, me included. And Cathy will tell you now, I was close to tears when she was telling me that Memphis was okay and that he was safe and that he was alive, because I don't care what anybody says. I was like everybody else, and I was worried that it was going to be another Lennox situation. And I don't care who slags me off for saying that, because that's my words. Anybody wants to email me, you know my email address. Because at the end of the day, we were all worried. The people to blame for that is Bloomfield. They have done nothing but mess everybody about. They are nothing but liars. They have done nothing to help you or that lady that's been threatened and all sorts, and nobody ever should be put in that position. Totally, totally wrong, and just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Cathy, you say a few words, because you listened to the phone call as well as me. You say a few words.
Our phone conversation was over an hour and a half long, and we were both moved to tears several times. I've been sitting here looking at the chat room and how the emotions are really there. I've really had to refrain from commenting on anything in the chat room, and I just want to say this. Everyone's saying no one threatened her. Well, that's your opinion. I don't know. You don't know. No one knows. There's 7 million people on Facebook. How do we know what any of these people do or don't do? The important thing is, and after the conversation today, I firmly believe that he is in good hands, and I firmly believe that he's healthy and happy. As for holding a newspaper up next to having a picture with him, that is absolutely ludicrous. I mean, there's got to be another way to timestamp something, because that would give her destination or her location out. That would put her in jeopardy, and we don't want that for anyone. And here again, you know, Sue and I are sitting on the garden fence. People in the chat room, okay, you know, y'all can have your stand. That's fine, but Sue and I spent time on the phone. We've listened to Jeff and we've listened to her, and that's all we're saying. We're just trying to get both sides of the story, like always. And our feelings haven't changed. I mean, but I just want to remind everyone that we don't know anything for sure. So before we go getting all emotional and pointing fingers and saying things, you know, there are two sides to every story. And people can get mad at us or mad at me or, you know, whatever. It wouldn't be the first time. But all I know is what I heard with my ears. You know, that I'm here to back up what Sue's saying. You know, we did have this conversation, and we did get this email, and we did get the photographs. So if you have any questions, toss it in the chat room, because I am sitting here watching it. I'm listening.
Yeah, I'm actually in my car right now. I'm not on a computer.
Oh, okay. That's fine, Jeff.
So I have no idea what's going on in the chat room, and I can, first and foremost, last year there were alleged threats against the Board of Health members, the health department, and I found it just as disgusting then as I do now if people are actually threatening, you know, physical harm, especially. You know, I that's never, ever was on any part of our, you know, our effort. You know, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And heck, if I stuck up for the health department, you bet your butt I would stick up for the person who's caring for Memphis. So if anyone is, you know, has engaged in any kind of, you know, threatening behavior, it's certainly, we don't condone that. On the flip side of that, I understand.
Sorry, I just want to say that people are saying in the chat room, can we prove threats? I'm not being funny. Can they prove that there wasn't threats? I'm not being funny, but this lady spoke to us for an hour and a half, Jeff. Jeff, I'm not being funny, but you know that I put hours and hours into shows to help you and to fight for Memphis and everything else. But my job and Cathy's job is we are the voice for the voiceless, and our main importance is Memphis. If I thought for one bottom dollar that she had not got a clue, she didn't care, or anything like that, I can honestly tell you right now, and I told her this on the phone as well, I would have exposed her to the hilt. Let me tell you now, I won't be giving out no phone numbers. I will not be putting out her email address. I will not be sharing anything with anybody, because me and Cathy put in the effort, and we spoke to this lady for an hour and a half, and I can honestly tell you, Jeff, if you could have listened to that conversation, you would have stood by me and said the same. I promise. You know that I have been behind you all 100,000% of the way, and I know that you are just like me, and you just wanted Memphis to be happy. And by what I'm hearing and the pictures that I'm seeing, that is exactly what we've got. I would not say that to you, Jeff, if you know that I have been truthful. Me and you have spoken, and you know that I have been truthful and everything to you from the start. You know.
Yes, you have to. Always.
No, absolutely. I hear you. You know, we had quite a few conversations with the caretaker, and they all went very well, except for the last one. You know, so you know, I understand what you're saying. As far as, you know, with all due respect to you, Catherine, and your inference that asking for a dated picture was ludicrous. Walk in my shoes for 5 minutes and then tell me it's ludicrous. It was a request where I would not have shared that picture. That was for our own peace of mind.
No, I did not say that the dated picture was ludicrous. No, I said to reveal the newspaper name and location. That's what I say. No, I'm not saying it's ludicrous to expect or to request a time and dated picture. No. Please let me correct that. That's not at all what I was saying.
Yeah, because, I mean, the picture that we received, all the properties were deleted and wiped out from the JPEG file.
Oh, okay. No, Jeff,
so,
no, I wouldn't.
You know, you know, and you know, a lot of this has to do with the journey that we've been on. You know, we haven't gotten information. We've always been misled or you know, and sometimes blatantly lied to. So why would we think any differently? You know, so that was I think that was a very fair and easy request for us to get, and you know, we didn't. So when we don't get it after someone says they're gonna, and then we don't, what are we supposed to think? You know? And you know, there's Yeah.
I'm going to say, now, again, I can't promise you, but you know that, again, I'm going to say again that I've been with you 100% all the way, okay? And I can see the chat room. I mean, I've popped my head in, and I'm going to say I'm going to pop my head back out again, because I'm not being funny. I have literally stood with these people the whole time, okay? I don't want one-sided, and that's no offence to you, Jeff, but I want to, my thing is for Memphis. I want to know that he's safe, then he's well, and everything else. Now, I will be contacting the caretaker again, and this is my thought. Now, this is only my thought, and this is what I'm going to be putting to her, okay? I am going to ask her if there is any chance that she would allow you and Diana to go to hers and see Memphis, even if it was the last time, if maybe that you signed something to say, right, this is the end of it. Memphis is safe, he's happy, we've looked at him, he's fine, he's well, you can have some photos and everything, and then that's it. Because I'm not being funny, Jeff, this is crazy. It's crazy. You've been hurt, Diana's been hurt, this lady's been hurt, you know, and Bloomfield just stepped away and said, oh no, it's nothing to do with us now. No, I bet you are. Do you know what I mean? This is ridiculous. It's gone on far too long.
Okay, so to answer your question, first and foremost, you know, I've always been willing to sign or acknowledge any agreement if it was in the interest of a resolution, which I've proven over and over again. Yeah. As it relates to would I agree to go see Memphis one last time, the answer would be no, because that would not be fair to Memphis to see us again, because I don't care what anybody says. I'm pretty sure that he would. I'm pretty sure he would remember us, and that might cause anxiety. And I don't know if I would do that to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Okay, I can sort. Yeah.
I mean, if it was something where if it was something where we can, you know, volunteer, and, you know, it was something where we can build a friendly relationship and become partners, and, you know, we would be, you know, even though it's, you know, wherever it is, you know, darn well, if I had quote unquote visitation rights, I would definitely take advantage of that. But if it was a one last time thing, I don't know if that would be in his best interest, although it would be nice in a human interest way, you know?
Yeah, I agree. It's just me sitting, because I'm looking at the chat room now and again, and I'm not being funny, but I'm trying to hit a happy medium here, because I've also see the fact that this lady, at the end of the day, has had so many threats. I don't care what anybody says. I spoke to this lady for an hour and a half, okay? This wasn't somebody who's pulling over the wool over the eyes. I think she's been cheated as much as you, Jeff, to be honest. And I've spoken to her for an hour and a half. Well, sorry, myself and Cathy spoke to her for an hour and a half. And myself and Cathy talked about it afterwards. And we both said the same thing. Now, my point is that the only way that people are going to believe that Memphis is in the right place and that he's healthy and everything is if you say so. I'm not being funny. I'm saying now that I can see photos which, unfortunately, at this moment in time, even though I put it all on Facebook ready to go, is now not bloody loading. But anyway, but my point in being is that we've got photos of Memphis sitting there, and he's looking happy enough and he's looking healthy. We have spoken to this lady, and she's told us the same. She's already, as you said yourself, and we are saying, she's an animal advocate, she's a rescue and everything else. And you also said yourself that when you spoke to her on a couple of occasions, she was really nice. The reality check is you wouldn't be very nice if you've had threats and you've been minded half to death just for doing some good for a dog.
Oh, really, Sue? Is that so? I think I've been pretty nice, and I think I've been pretty patient, and I've been pretty respectful to all those scumbags. So if someone doesn't...
Okay. I didn't say you. Hold a minute. I didn't say you. I'm saying that other people have not been respectful to her. Whoa, I didn't say. I'm not being funny. You shut up for far too long. You were told, just like she was by the sounds of it, not to say anything. But she's done exactly what you did. You were told to shut up. She was told to shut up. But she's the one who's been made to look the bad guy because she said nothing and not posted nothing. She was told not to. She was in exactly the same place as you. So why is she wrong? What if it
I
comes to the fact that they said,
I understand that she's probably had certain
if
agreements on her end, and I understand that. I acknowledge that.
Jeff, we're already in the position, right, where they went and took Memphis off you because in their eyes you'd stepped out of the mark, right? She could have stepped out of the mark and we could have had Memphis moved on to somewhere else. Or he could have been put down.
Yeah,
Me personally, I'm happy. If he's in a rescue, if he's at this place and he's healthy and he's being looked after, I'm happy. Sorry, if that's upset people and you think I'm wrong, good, shoot me down then. But I'm just I'm listening to what I heard today, what me and Cathy heard, and it was a sincere lady who's got his heart. And she's fallen in love with him like you have.
I have no doubt she loves him. I have no doubt in my mind.
Do you mean? I just don't see... I mean, I'm not being funny, Jeff. I had a funny feeling that people were going to turn against me. But do you know what I mean? I wasn't here to have favoritism of me because I'm for the dogs and the animals and everything else. If people are pissed with me because I've gone out of my way and fought for a dog and tried to bring the truth out, then you can all shoot me down. I don't really care. I've done, Jeff, what I think is right for you and what was right for Memphis. And I cannot believe these people in here are slagging me off. I took bullshit. I have put hours and hours into this. Cathy, you say a few words. You say what you've got to say.
Who is saying something about you, Sue?
Oh, Jeff, just the emotions in the chat room. You know, we understand it.
What's going on in the chat room? I think, you know what, I don't know if my wife was considering calling in or not. I'm not sure.
Well, that's what Sue's talking about. You know, the emotions are running high, and people are saying stuff to me and Sue, and you know, all we can go on is what we're hearing, what we're told, what we're seeing in writing in front of us, and you know, I don't know what to say at this point without offending someone. I'm not, no one's certainly worried about offending me or Sue or anything like that, but I'm not going to go and take offense at these things in the chat room. And people are asking, well, why won't you let us call in? Why won't you pick up the phone and let us talk? Well, this is not going to turn into a wee-wee contest here. We don't want the emotions from the chat room on the phone line. We're not ignoring anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But when one calls in, it's just going to be an emotional uproar, and that's not what we want here.
Yeah, that doesn't do anything.
It's not going to accomplish anything.
Yeah. Jeff, what's Diane's number? What's the start of Diane's number?
201679.
Right, okay. It's all right, my internet's playing at the minute. Hi, Diane, welcome to the show.
Sue? Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, how are you doing?
I
can hear you.
I'm okay. How are you? Hello?
I could be better.
You know,
how are you doing?
I was listening. Don't, please, don't get upset. I mean, trust me, I know what it's like. We've been waiting for a whole year. You know, there's no need, really. I mean, everybody in the chat room, please just calm down. Really. I mean, this anger is not going to solve anything.
No.
It's not. And I understand that you had, I just caught some of the show. I understand that you spoke to the caretaker. I know I spoke to her, and I asked her the same things that you did. And, you know, you have to understand my point, our point, is that we were led to believe that it was supposed to be open communication. Now, whether they told her something completely different than what they did to us, which I totally believe, you know, I can only go by what I'm told. So if she could have, in the conversation that we had, said to me, listen, they made me sign this. They said I'm not supposed to talk to you. They said this, that, the other thing, and that's it. Then you know what? Then I would have said, okay, we'll leave you be. because now we know, right? But she didn't say that.
Yeah.
She didn't say that to us. So when I asked her how he's doing, you know, what, I forgot. I'm like a little upset right now because so I'm losing my train of thought. But, I mean, the conversation that we had, you know, I told her that I miss him. Not once. Not once did she say that she loves him, that she cares for him, that she wanted to keep him. She never said any of that. She said, you will never get him. She said, no, you will never get him. That's what she said in our conversation.
Yeah.
So I can understand that you maybe had a great conversation with her, and that's great. That's the kind of conversation I wanted to have with her. All I want is for somebody to tell us the truth. You can't tell me one thing and then tell somebody else another thing and then expect us to be, well, not amicable, but like have communication. We're expecting to have open, clear communication. I want to know how he's doing. See, this is the thing. When we take in a dog and we're rehabbing him or we're working with him, or we have videos, we have pictures, we are in constant contact with whomever we're working with to let them know how that dog is progressing. That's the professional way to do things. At least I think so. And also, if you have nothing to hide, there's nothing to hide. There's absolutely no reason for secrecy. So when you add what we've been put through, when you add what we've been put through this whole year, all the lies that we've been told, we're trying our best to do everything possible to believe that she's, first of all, I'm just happy he's out of Bloomfield and away from them, okay? But then I don't know what type of person she is, because if she's not communicating with me, I'm getting nervous because I'm saying, well, what's going on? How come she's not saying anything to me? Why isn't she telling me how he's doing? Aside from telling me he's fine, I need to see pictures. I need to see something tangible that shows me that he is still alive, because after all of this, I do not know that for sure. And I know that you spoke to her and you said that you have pictures. Did she show you pictures? Of, and they have a date on them? Do they have a date on them?
No, they have not got a... Right. They don't have a date on, but let me just say that it was late on when we spoke to her, and my determination was to get some photos, okay? But I am going to speak to her again. But let me just say, though, Diane, like I said to Jeff, you have been told to shut up and not talk the whole time, and you have respected what you've been told. Now, this lady has gone through some... And I don't care what anybody says, she was threatened, because I could tell by the tone of her voice that she'd been threatened. You know, and at the end of the day, I'm just going to say to people that, you know, like I said to Jeff, if I thought that she was not for real, or there was something not quite or something, then I seriously would have been here and saying to you, listen, you need to do this, this, and this. And you know I would have done. I have done nothing but try to help you guys from the start.
I know. Now, the whole thing of it is that, no, we don't want anyone to attack her. We don't want anyone to attack her. We don't know her. I don't have anything against her. The only thing that bothers me is the lack of transparency, is the lack of communication, because, you know what, had she said that to us, you know, first of all, with the threat, she did mention that. And I asked her, who exactly threatened you, so we could speak to them? And she said, I'm not a whistleblower. And then I asked her, well, the last conversation that we had that was really, really good, within a few hours, because it was at night, we spoke to her, we hung up, we went to sleep, we got up in the morning, we received an email, all your followers, are threatening me, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Within a few hours, that's like, I'm sorry, that doesn't jive with me. Like, we have a great conversation 1 second, and a few hours later, not even a few hours later, she sends us an email saying, stay away from me, don't talk to me, don't bother me, let me do my job. You know, I don't appreciate people threatening me, you know, like on your followers threatening me. Where? did they threaten you from the time, if she was already being threatened, that conversation would have been a whole different ballgame. So there are things that don't add up. You know, so I understand that you had a great conversation with her. Anyone can have a great conversation. Once we did with her, and then all of a sudden it changed. Now, again, I don't want to attack her. I just want to know the truth. I want to know that he's alive. If he's alive and he's well taken care of, then that's awesome. That's all I want because I love him. We both love him very much. And that's all I want.
Yeah.
But if I call you, if I call her and to have a conversation and then she turns around, she hangs up on me and tells me I'm never getting him, how do you think I feel? You know what I'm saying? How is that conducive? How is that conducive to working things out? That's not conducive to anything.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying?
I totally agree with what you're saying. Right, I totally agree with what you're saying, okay? I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying to you is that we've got to sit on the other side of the coin here and look at the fact that this person has been, as far as I'm concerned, and she's not said that Bloomfield have said this, that, and the other, but what I can see is that you two have been told to shut up and say nothing and blah, 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 and maybe the talking that she did was her stepping out of the line, and she suddenly thought, shit, I've just stepped out the line. And it's no different than what you and Jeff have done when you've spoken too. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't mean it's right. I just think that all three of you are victims of what has gone on. All three of you
I believe
she's
a victim as well. I do. But you know what, Sue? The whole thing is that the only way to end this is just to tell the truth. You know what I'm saying?
You know what, and ultimately, and haven't I always done two sides of every story? And I told her today,
absolutely.
I have been waiting for the truth of the other side.
Exactly.
This is what I said to her. I said I had Mike Fitzpatrick on. What a lying, bleeding, blah, blah, blah he was when he came on. Why didn't they just tell the truth then? Why didn't they just send a picture then? No, they didn't. And that was Bloomfield. That was Bloomfield.
Yes.
Now, this lady just a rescue, and she just stood up. Yeah, so at the end of the day, she just stepped up because she saw that a dog was needed and she was asked to take him on, and she did.
Actually,
why should she get beat the shit out of? It's not her fault.
She's the one who called them. She contacted them. As far as what Karen Laurie.
Good for her.
Karen Laurie said,
I recommend. Well, but the thing is, at the end of the day, we know that on the cards he was. Sorry, but the thing is, it was on the cards that at one point, and Jeff has said himself, that they were contemplating whether to have him euthanized. Isn't it best that he's somewhere, not nowhere?
Yes, it is, but I don't know for a fact that he is there because I haven't gotten proof. You know what I mean? But
like I just said to Jeff, the only way that any proof of this 100% is if I was able to speak to her and say, look, let's just go with a deal bargain here. Let Jeff and Diana come and see him once so that you can see that he is at that place and he is safe and he is well and he is happy, and then that's it. Because I'm not being funny, it's too hard for both of you otherwise. It's not fair. It doesn't matter what photos. How are we going to prove that where he is for real?
Well, she could
we have a date.
She could actually do a video, and she could state the date and the time, and she could video him. I mean, I would love to see him. You know, but she clearly made it completely. Well, I know her voice. She made it completely clear that she did not want us there. She said that she did not want us there. And that was just last week.
But Diana, come on.
That was last week, yeah.
But the thing is, I just think to myself, if I was an advocate and I had saved a dog and all I did was try to do my best for a dog and then I got nothing but abuse and all sorts, then would you feel like you wanted to talk to anybody at all?
Well,
yes,
see, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Hold on, hold on a sec. This is what I'm trying to tell you, Sue, is that the one conversation that we had with her was awesome. We woke up to an email to say, leave me alone. Then I call her again, and she just says, no, you're not getting him, and that's it. Somewhere along the line, someone, at least I would have said, listen, between me and you, this is what happened. They said, please don't communicate with them, don't this, don't that, don't. Just say that. Just say it. Don't say, like, I don't want you to see him, I don't want you to get him, I don't want you to know anything about him, leave me alone. That's what I got. You understand? So communication is the only way that anyone knows what's going on. If she had been communicating, we stayed quiet throughout the whole thing, hoping that she would communicate with us. We called, we emailed some more, and we got no response whatsoever. So then finally, when we did call, and then she sent us that email right after that phone call, that's when we started talking. So, I mean, you know what I mean? And I'm not attacking you, Sue. I love you very much, and I understand, and I can see the position that you're in right now. But, I mean, in all fairness, I did speak to her twice. I'm not a hard person to talk to, and she straight up hung up on me. All you have to say is, listen, I can't talk to you about it, and that's it.
Yeah, okay. So let me ask you both a question then. What is it that both of you would be happy with for us to say, okay, he's happy, he's safe, he's well, and he's looked after?
You want me to answer that, hon?
Yeah.
Based on the recent information I've received, there's only one solution to this, and that's all I'll say.
Okay, and what is that?
Are you still there, hon?
Yeah, I'm here.
So,
there's only one resolution to this as far as we're concerned. And, you know, I mean, if he's happy and he's loved and he's well cared for, and we knew that all along, we wouldn't even be here.
Exactly.
I agree.
And, you know, and I guess if you are going to have open dialogue with her, I guess if we're going to throw, you know, other, you know, external comments, can you please ask her why I am getting messages and feedback from people stating that the alleged caretaker is saying that I was I gave Memphis drugs and I used shock collar on him and I didn't treat him properly. Can you ask her why she's telling people that about me?
I can send you a screenshot,
right,
too,
Jeff,
if you want to see it.
Yeah, okay. Please, Diane, send that to me. You've got my email address. Please forward that to me, right? Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, I won't have accusations of anything to her or you two either, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not acceptable and it's not helping Memphis one iota, right? Not one bit.
We never accused her of anything other than we just wanted to know things.
Yeah.
I don't know who she is. I have no idea who she is, what kind of person she is, what kind of training. I have no knowledge of anything. So how can I be? You know what? The only thing I know about that I can surmise any kind of conclusion about her training is I saw that she posted on Facebook a couple of months ago. She was asking people how to stop a barking dog. So what I know is that she doesn't know how to deal with barking. That's the only thing I know how based off of a comment. But that means absolutely nothing as far as training and rehabilitation. She could be excellent for all I know.
So if you... Okay, let's go back. So firstly, Jeff, if you can get a screenshot of that as well, I would appreciate that. But the thing is, it's going back to... And this is where I feel that we're at, right? We can name call each other, and I'm not being funny. You know as well as I do, there is always going to be trolls that will try and put a spoke in the works for you and Diana and for her, right? We're always going to have that, and I'm not being funny, but I've had my fair share of it even today. And I'm not being funny. There will always be people who say, "Oh, she said this, Jeff. She said that." It may be that there is just people saying that just to rile you up. Okay, you know, they want you to speak. They want you to say something. I'm not saying that they're right or they're wrong. I'm just saying to you, you know what Facebook is like for people that will say stuff that is not true.
Okay, I understand what you're saying,
that's
Sue.
fine. Okay,
you're right.
So Sue,
you're right, but
Sue,
listen, to ask... Go ahead, hon.
Ask anyone that, anyone you can think of, have I said anything untrue about anyone? The answer is no.
Yep.
I've never said anything untrue to anyone. Anything that I've said has been substantiated with evidence, okay? I have 34 recorded phone conversations from the past year, okay? So anything I've ever said has been email, screenshot, recorded, you name it. We've never said anything untrue. I would never in a million years say something about this person that I have no knowledge of. I would never say that this person is drugging Memphis right now. That's why he has nice pictures. I would never say that.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, so, okay, as far as I'm concerned, right, and I hate being put in this position because I feel like I'm in between, but I put myself in that position because I know that so many people are upset with what's been going on around Memphis, and I know there's been a lot of heartache and pain from even Joe Public has stepped on board, and we've all fallen in love with Memphis, me included, okay? And I know Cathy feels the same. But at the end of the day, I just want to find some sort of equal, fresh place where this fighting can stop, and hopefully we can do something to say, yes, he's happy, yes, he's fine, yes, he's safe and well, and he's being looked after. And so you two can either see him or something that will prove that he's fine and well with either a dated something or other, whatever it may be, some sort of date form that you can look at it and say, yes, he's well. Do you know what I mean?
We've been asking for this for a whole year.
We've been asking
was it all of a sudden, poof,
hold on.
It's a miracle? It'd be great if it was that easy. I mean, yeah, that would be awesome. It would be great if she didn't hang up on us the other day when I spoke to her. It's just, there's no need for any of it. I mean, I'm just, look, I've been through this for a whole year. We've been promised.
Diane, I'm not being funny. I have been. I'm not being funny. I have stood with you guys, and I've done as many shows to try and get this. And I was hoping that day that Mike Fitzpatrick came on this show, that he was actually going to have the decency to at least put your guys' minds at rest, and for us to know that Memphis was okay. Right? Now, at the end of the day, it's only a small stepping stone what I've done today, but I am not going to walk away from this, and I know Cathy will vouch for the fact that I have said there is no way we're going to stop. Okay? I will continue with this.
Us either. We've been here non-stop for a whole year.
But Diane, I'm not being funny. I've done loads of shows for you too, and I've been fighting trying to do it.
I know. I'm not saying anything against you. I'm just saying that we've all been in this for a whole year. This is, where nobody's walking away anytime soon.
It's gone on far too long. Yeah, it's gone on far too long, right? And my personal belief is there has been 3 very severe victims, actually 4 because Memphis too.
Yes, absolutely.
And at the end of the day, and this sounds really harsh, but yet your feelings and Jeff's feelings and this lady's feelings, at the end of the day, the most important thing we need to know is that Memphis is safe, well, looked after, healthy, and is having what he needs.
That's what I've been saying for a whole year. We've been trying to find out if he's alive even.
Yep.
That was my fact the other day.
Yep, exactly.
Here, I'll read it to you. You know, that's my main concern. I wrote, I want to know if Memphis is even alive. We were led to believe that his caretaker and us were to have clear and open communication. I mean, you can read it. It's on my Facebook. It's public. I've had everything public since this first started because I have nothing to hide. Now, the thing of it is that, I mean, my feelings, yes, has this been hard for us? Of course. But my number one concern, the only reason it's hard is because we don't even know if he's alive.
Yeah.
Our main concern is him. Has always been him. Has always and will continue to be him.
Yeah, Mike Fitzpatrick did us wrong when he came on here and promised us photos and everything way back then. If he'd have been half well,
they all did us wrong for a whole year. They've done us all wrong. Not just him, all of them. All of them have done us wrong for a whole year. So, I mean, we're here today. But what I'm saying is we're here. You know what I mean? Like, we're here today. Yeah. We already know that. We already know everything. Yeah. You know, it's just frustrating. I don't like to go over every single thing from, you know, the past. I want to know how we can fix it, and that's why I called her. That's why I called. That's why we tried to speak to her. But, you know, I mean, it would have been great if she could have gotten on the phone with us. It would have been great if she would have been on the radio. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want to argue with anyone. I just want to know if he's alive. That's it. What's the problem?
Yep. Yep. Well, do you know what?
You know?
But okay, then. So what? So you're saying to me that if I could get a video or a picture that was dated of Memphis, you would be happy with that to know that he's happy, safe, and well.
Would you be happy with that, hon?
Well, actually, at this point, I'd like to know what training and behavior modification protocol is being implemented. I'd like to know who and how many people he's being socialized with. I'd like to know what kind of training tools or approaches is being done on him. You know, I'd like to know a little. I think both Diana and I have earned the right to know everything. So we want to know everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and again, I am not commenting on anyone's ability as a trainer or anything like that, because every trainer is different. We all have our different approaches. We all do things in our own time. Okay. You know, and you know, it takes. You know, I can't speak for how Memphis is currently behaving in his current environment because I don't know. What I do know is that there were at least 6 professionals, including Jim Crosby, who all felt that this was a very adoptable dog and he had a few issues.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I agree
with that.
What happened after September 20th that made this dog something different, that made him, you know, whatever he is being, you know, I don't know what she told you. I don't know what kind of updates you got. I know what kind of updates I got.
It's nice that you got updates, though, and we didn't.
Based on
you know,
based on what we've been told, there's really nothing wrong with him, and this is coming from the caretaker. You know, he's got a couple of issues. I know, you know, 40 million dogs that have a couple of issues. Again, Diana hit it right on the head. Based on the information that we are given, okay, we are not satisfied.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is, Jeff, you know, me and you'll talk after the show. That's not a problem. If you want to email me any questions that you want me to, if I can speak to it, but I also want to try and build a bridge so you guys can talk. I don't know how we'll do this, but maybe I don't know. But I want to try and build a bridge. I am not saying that I'm a miracle worker. I'm not saying that I can put all this right. But from the UK, I don't feel that I'm doing too bad of a job to try and make it happen. I'm doing what I can do. At the end of the day, at least we got some photos today, which is more than what we've had before. And we've got her where we were talking to her. And she was fine with us. She was talking to us. Now, I'm not saying... all I can see is that I think that, like I've said before, there's 4 victims of this, and it would just be nice if we can sort things out. And I'm not going to run anybody down or anything else. I'm just here to try and find some sort of resolution to all of it. Do you know what I mean? Now, I have got a lady who wants to come onto the show. Her name is Samantha. And hi, Samantha. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Apparently you've got a few comments you want to add. Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, very well.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Now, you've got a few comments that you want to make?
I do. There is one person that can stop all of this. It's Jeff and all of his Facebook people. There are comments on there. The threats come from the Facebook page. People say they're going to go steal the dog. If anybody goes and reads his Facebook page, all it is threats. Let's go steal the dog. We'll take it into our own hands. Let's go do this gangster style. All that stuff on
that's
say,
nothing
Memphis.
that we would ever, nothing that we would ever,
Then why
ever.
don't you have your people stop? Why don't you say, listen, let's act like adults. Let's stop this.
Where is
Tell
it?
people
Where
on
is
your
it?
face.
Whoa,
Ultimate.
Excuse me, can I talk?
Where? What people? What
Excuse me, everybody. Right, just whoa.
Yeah, really.
If you are both talking at the same time, just listen. Just whoa. Listen. Just wait a minute, both of you. Diane, just let her have her piece, and then I will let you respond, okay? Just because if you're both talking, nobody can hear anything.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The caretaker, she's not even a caretaker. She is the owner, the legal rightful owner of Memphis. She was told by the attorney to send an email to you all to stop having people threaten her. And that is posted on Jeff's page and also on Memphis's page in caps. He copied and pasted the part of the email, and then people started commenting on that. Jeff, you can have people stop doing that. If you look at the documents that Sue has posted, you were to give Memphis back, no questions asked, when you were so-called training him. And there's a final documentation that you were CC'd on a letter as early as October 2013 stating that the rightful owner is the current caretaker, and she is fed up with you all. You guys weren't supposed to contact her. You've even said that there was an agreement saying you weren't supposed to contact her, and then you tripped over your own words and said that, well, we contacted her. Stop contacting her. I have seen Memphis myself. I have seen Memphis myself. The documents are on Sue's Facebook page. She posted them.
I'm just trying to... Have they actually gone on now?
May I speak,
it's not
Sue?
showing me that they're on there.
Sue, may I speak? Sue, may I speak?
Sorry.
And as far as what Jeff says, he just keeps going farther along. You say, what if we send a picture? Well, no, then Jeff wants to know, well, how's she training him? How's he doing this? What techniques? What this? Just let it be. She has been given the legal rights to Memphis. You all never had it. You all never adopted him. You had no control over him. You had nothing. You think he's owed to you. You never, ever had anything stating that he belonged to you. He's not your possession.
Can I ask you something?
Legal? What?
Hello?
Yes.
You said that she was given ownership. When was this letter dated?
October 2013. You were CC'd on it, and it's posted on the page in the documents that Sue received.
Hon, did you receive documents?
At the moment.
Okay.
We were not.
October 11th of 2013.
Yes.
When was it? What date was it, hon, that the mayor and the council said that Memphis is to be given to us? That was last year, and then this year again?
No, it never says you were to be given.
Hold on, I'm talking. I let you talk. Relax.
If he is deemed adoptable, then
why
you have
are you
the right
yelling?
to adopt him.
Why are you yelling? Relax.
But
there's no reason to yell. Calm down. Relax. No one's yelling.
Yeah, everyone calm down, please, so we can all hear everyone individually, please. Thanks. Thank you, Diana. Thanks, Samantha.
What document says that you ever had ownership? It said if Memphis was ever deemed adoptable, then he could go to you all.
Is your name Samantha?
Pardon me?
What's your name?
Samantha.
Samantha? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. She received, you're saying that she received the letter October 11th, 2013, by whom? Who was the letter from, hon?
The attorney.
Hold on.
From the attorney? Okay, hold on.
Well, we never actually got a copy of the letter from them. Someone else got it to me.
Okay. Well, you're CC'd on it, so you would assume that it would go to you. And then the document previous to that was in September 20th, 2012, and it's an agreement you signed that went to everybody stating that You weren't supposed to have any contact. That she would provide a letter, pictures in a letter once a year. You weren't supposed to fundraise for Memphis anymore. You weren't supposed to get money off of him. And that document is also
we
posted.
sign that? Because
No.
I didn't sign anything like that. So if my signature's on there, it's forged. It's forged. If my signature is on there,
it's forged. Hold on. First things first, okay?
It's called Resolution of Memphis. It's a docket and page number, and it has the attorneys on it, and it was filed.
Okay, first things first, you're referring to the December 20th agreement, Samantha?
No, September 20th, 2012.
We never signed anything on September 20th, 2012.
Well, that's the document that states everything that you're supposed to.
Our signatures are on there?
On December 20th, 2012, what?
Hon, hold on a second. Samantha, are our signatures on there? Does it say Diana Coltenback and Jeff Coltenback?
No, they were emailed to both of you all, to the caretaker and to you all, and the signatures returned, and they're on file with the attorney's office.
Okay, but do you see our signatures are in there? Because I never signed anything like that. I'm telling you honestly, I've never signed anything that says that I would only have spoken to her once a year.
And now, Samantha, you're saying, Samantha, this letter was September 20th?
September 20th, resolution. You guys can see it just as well as anybody else out there because she made it public. It's on the Memphis webpage.
Just
so
for
you
your
need
information,
to tell me,
hold on, Samantha, on September 20th, that was the date Memphis was transferred out of state. I did not know about his whereabouts until many weeks later.
It's a board member's roll call, and it's the president of the board, secretary of the board. You said you didn't know where Memphis went.
No, we didn't. Not until we went to court.
You're tripping over your words. So
not until we went to court.
You mean to tell me you have never...
On September 20th,
you have never ever seen a document stating that the lawsuit was dismissed by Judge Kompowski.
That was in November. That was in November.
That was in November.
The board authorizes the neighbor-to-neighbor network transfer custody of the dog named Memphis to the current caretaker.
Memphis was transferred before the court date. Memphis was transferred before.
This is all on the website, stating that the current knowledge of Memphis caretakers to be you will not challenge or dispute the findings of this ruling. There will be no lawsuits filed with this. Possible, though unlikely, that Memphis will ever be found to be suitably adopted.
Okay, Samantha, you are referring to the December 20th agreement, December, not September.
This is dated September 20th.
No,
I hereby certify that the above resolution was duly adopted by the board on December 20th, 2012. So it was adopted in 2012. It was drawn up in September. So you are aware of this, stating that you are not to fundraise on behalf of Memphis.
Samantha, hold on. That can't possibly be because court was on November 9th. So it couldn't possibly have been drafted prior to the judge's decision. That's impossible.
The judge decided on October 11, 2013. It says you should know that Memphis.
No, there was no court then. Court was November.
So was the
court was in November.
Court was November 9th, 2012, or November 2012.
The Lexus project was involved in this, huh?
Yes, it was. Now listen, Samantha, what?
Lexus Project never stepped foot in the courtroom representing you.
Yeah.
They couldn't come to court because their house was destroyed from Sandy.
Honey, relax. Samantha, Sandra Jones was counsel for the Lexus Project in court November 2012.
And did they not back out?
No, they did not.
And no longer represent.
No, they did not.
If anybody calls the Lexus Project and asks if they were part of Memphis in 2012,
what's that?
Came to an agreement.
You're breaking up. I can't hear.
Who his legal guardian was, they would say, oh, yeah, we were a part of all of that.
The Lexus project was part. The Lexus
They will not
project
say
was
that.
part. They were part of the case. I spoke to Richard Rosenthal.
Oh my God.
About a month and a half ago about Memphis.
I spoke to them recently.
Who did you speak to? Which one? Who?
I'm not giving you everything because you take everything and it'll all be pasted on your Facebook page
But
and
I
it'll
mean,
give your
it's
people
you're
more
on a
things to
radio
just
show that's
do.
archived. Anyone can hear it.
And that's why haven't you posted any of this? Even
Post
the
any of
Do you
what?
see what you're dealing with? Do you see this? Sue, are you here?
Even the agreement between you and the shelter says that you have no right to the dog, and you're able.
Of course,
You
that's
have to
who
give
we're
it back.
fighting against. Is the people who ran the shelter, the health department. Of course, they're going to say that.
If you want Memphis is fine where he's at. If you want the well-being, if you are all about the well-being of Memphis,
I think your name. I think that you're not Samantha. I think your name is Wendy Pete. I think that's who you are.
I think you would just drop all of this. She's not going to let you come to her property.
Wendy, is this Wendy? Come on.
No, it's not.
Fess up. Okay.
Well, any documents are a matter of any
You will not get Memphis. Memphis is not. Memphis is where he's legally has a right to be. And if you want updates on Memphis, you all would change your tune. I mean, you sit there and we want this, we want this.
I called her, it was a nice conversation. I tried, and then
she looks on Facebook. Then she looks on Facebook, and people are slandering her. And, she's just living in the middle of podunk nowhere, and she don't have this, and she don't do this.
Who said that? We never said any of that.
Page. Facebook page.
Listen to me. If I were to hold everyone accountable for what they said about me, the comments that were said about me, I mean, on Facebook, that's ridiculous. I never said anything like that about her. Jeff has never said anything like that about her. We would never do that.
Over those people. You have control, and you can say, listen.
We don't have control. There's no zombies out there. I'm not a voodoo priestess. I don't
Memphis page. Show good faith. Take down Memphis page.
No, I'm not going to take down Memphis. How come I can't have a conversation with her? Why can't I have a conversation with her? I'm the only one who has to show good faith. I showed good faith for a whole year.
You weren't supposed to have any conversations,
and you all did. But that's not the contract we signed, honey.
This is not your dog.
She signed a different contract than we did, and that's apparent.
Really?
I want to see my thing. Yeah, really. Okay, so then show the contract.
Whoa.
Memphis is not your dog. You have no right to Memphis. You've never had a right to Memphis.
Right. Hold on.
My God.
Hold on.
You've never had a right to Memphis.
Breathe, everybody. Breathe. Right, just breathe a minute. Just stop. This shouting at each other and everything else is not getting anywhere, right? I have got to the point in this that we can talk about what was and what may have been and who's what and who said what and everything.
Yeah.
But all I am thinking is that we have got one dog that we want to make sure that is healthy and everything else. Now, we can go, and like you said, Diana, yourself, we can go back on past as much as you like. It ain't going to change. We cannot rewind the tape. We cannot turn the clocks back. Nothing.
Exactly.
This show today is about how Save Memphis continues. Now, when I say that, that means that I would like proof that he is fine, well, and that Jeff and Diana are happy, that in their minds that he is happy and well and safe and everything else. And also that he's not going to be euthanized, which I must admit at one point I questioned whether that was the case. Second thing is, I also want the fact that the threats and the abuse to each other, wherever it may come from, whether it's chucked at the caretaker or whether it's chucked at Jeff and Diana, has got to stop. Because stupid name-calling and everything else to go with it, whether or not Memphis was doped with drugs or whether this lady lives in a bloody shack, is immaterial. I don't care if she lives under a hill. As long as Memphis is well and safe and in a place of good stead, I am not bothered about the stupid rest of it. All I will say is that as far as I'm concerned, Bloomfield have made all of us, and that's including Joe Public that's been in this as well, have made us all victims. And we have got to stop fighting with each other because it is not getting us anywhere. Now, what I suggest is that anybody that's got documents, that they forward them to me, and we will look to see if, in fact, there has been some wrongdoings as far as signing documents, because, Samantha, you're saying that Jeff and Diana signed something on a certain date, which I'm not disputing, so don't, all of you breathe for a minute. And also, I would like to, I will forward them all of these documents onto Jeff and Diana, and they can look at these and say whether or not they sign these or not. Because if, in fact, what you're saying and what Jeff and Diana are saying are true, at the end of the day, there has been some sort of lying between all of us.
Well, it's not only that.
Back to the point, though, if Memphis is safe and Memphis is fine, they need to just, that's the answer. He's safe and he's fine, and we'll send a picture with a date stamp, and then don't contact her anymore.
But Samantha, what I am trying to, just hold a minute, what I'm trying to say to all of you is, this shouting at each other and everything is wrong. We are all singing from the same hymn sheet in the sense we all want what's right for Memphis. Let's take the people out of the situation. At the end of the day,
they say they want what's best for Memphis, but he's fine. And
that's preaching. Relax. Oh my God, my ear hurts.
Right. Whoa.
You're preaching. Relax.
But they're not. But they're not going to stop until Memphis is back with them, and that's not right. They said they were not going to stop until Memphis is back with them.
Right. Let me just say something, Sue? At the end of the day, I am not interested about hearsay or so-say or whatever else. At the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, my job is to find and get evidence to prove and to sufficiently say that Memphis is happy and safe and well. Now, I'm not being funny. I understand what Jeff and Diana are saying. Right? I'm going to sit in the garden fence, right? This is my point, okay? And this is because I'm trying to be fair to both of you. I have spoken to this lady today, and she has told me that Memphis is safe, happy, and in her house. He is not outside. He is safe, happy, and well, and I have got photos of which I posted on the Ask Sue Radio Show Network, which she has sent to me. I also sit on the garden fence, too, and I will say that Jeff and Diana, I can see their point in the fact that they are saying that they want some sort of actual evidence of a date thing to say it was yesterday that this picture was taken and he is fine. I understand
and
that.
If we get that, then what?
But the other side is,
what?
Hold on, I haven't finished yet. Hold on. At the end of the day, we've also got the documents that says, apparently, that Jeff and Diane have signed this over. Now, at the end of the day, before anybody jumps me, I'm not saying that that's true or that's false. I'm saying the documents we've got, which I'm trying to upload to Facebook, but Facebook isn't playing, but I will upload them for everybody to see. Now, at the end of the day, all of this arguing over what saying whatever is immaterial. My thing is, I want to know where we can go to move forward. Now, at the end of the day, I agree with you, Samantha, in the fact that you're saying, like the caretaker said, that he's safe and well and happy. I understand that. But then I can also see from the point that we just want some evidence to prove that it's a date of, say, yesterday or today or whatever, to say that this is actually the case. I understand that. Mm-hmm. But all I am going to say is we can shout at each other all night long, but that is not changing the fact that as far as I'm concerned and looking at these pictures, that Memphis is actually well. Now, I am not saying that I have sorted everything out, far from it. What I'm saying is we are a little bit step closer than what we were. And I will do it in all of my power to make it so this comes to an end, because there has been enough fighting, there's been enough name-calling, there's been enough hurting for all of us, me included, every single Joe Public that has been on that Save Memphis page and Save Memphis Continues, there's been enough hurting that was not necessary.
So
and I will personally forever blame Bloomfield for that, because they shouldn't have put anybody in this position in the first place. Nobody.
Can I ask you something, Sue? If they get a picture, if they get a picture, will they be satisfied? If they get a video with a date stamp of this month, will they be satisfied, and will they leave it alone and let Memphis be?
Actually, at this point,
Jeff?
Sue, this is Diana.
Sorry,
actually,
Diana. Yep.
What Samantha has brought up a little bit of a concern for me, because if she's saying that there is a document on September 20th that was signed by Jeff and I, which I know we did not sign, then that's forgery and that's illegal.
It was executed in December. I just read it was executed in December, and it's posted on Sue's page, so you can see that.
Okay, so it wasn't September 20th?
At the top it says Memphis resolution, and it has whatever day I said, September, whatever, 2012. Down at the bottom it says entered in whatever date voted by the board, and it has checked off who voted yay and who voted nay. And
okay,
that was
but that's,
the December date.
That's not a contract. That's not a contract. That's just
a
board resolution.
You know what? I see what you're saying, Samantha. You're just reading the resolution, and part of the resolution there's just like a timeline reference, and that's where it says September 20th. I have the resolution in my hand. I see what you're saying, Samantha.
Yes, it's at the top.
But it was a December 20th document, though.
Right down at the bottom, yes.
Yeah, but they're just going through the time. It starts off with the timeline. I see what you're referencing.
Yeah, and that's not a contract. It's a resolution that the board signed.
You all got copies of that, though.
But that was in December. This was drafted. This wasn't drafted in September. It was drafted in December. They just referenced September in the timeline of the summary of the first paragraph.
Okay, so in December 2013. I'm sorry, 2000, whatever date that was, 2012. I'm driving. It says all those things that weren't supposed to happen. You weren't supposed to have contact. You were supposed to stop fundraising.
No, okay. May I read the line item?
I circled them. I highlighted them.
The line item you refer to regarding communication. I'm not sure what document you're looking at as far as.
I sent the document.
I'm in my car. I'm sorry.
Okay, so am I.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
It's just. Hold on.
I'm concerned you're all in your car driving.
Okay. So item E. That this is part of what we agreed to. That they will be satisfied. They meaning Diana and me. That they will be satisfied with periodic updated information of Memphis's well-being and training. And also that the amount and method of updates will be at the discretion of the caretaker. The updated information is to be kept confidential for the well-being of Memphis. And nowhere on this particular agreement does it say that we are not supposed to contact her.
Now keep going. It's supposed to be at her discretion, which means she's supposed to initiate. If it's her discretion, if she doesn't want to talk to you,
no, that's all up to interpretation, really. I mean, if that were the case, then it should have been written out that, exactly how you just said it, which it wasn't.
Yeah, and if that was the case, then on June 25th, when everything was all nice and hunky-dory, she should have just told us not to call her anymore, and she didn't.
But you don't abide by that. Then you post stuff on your Facebook page. That's what's frustrating. Because you posted the email she sent. You posted part of the email she sent that she was advised to do to ask you all to leave her alone. To leave her alone.
That was yesterday.
And
you posted it to Facebook.
That had nothing to do with her.
And that's not the truth? Is that a lie? Was that a lie? Did he post a lie, or was it the truth?
And furthermore, the board of
answer
that. Was it a lie or was it the truth? I mean, because it's one thing.
Everything that she says, everything she provides, you all post, and then everybody starts attacking her.
No, not everything.
True at all.
Not everything. Listen, the thing of it is that if it's the truth, what's the problem with it?
The truth is Memphis was never your dog. You're trying to get a dog back that was not yours.
Okay.
Yes, we have been trying to adopt him since August 1st, 2012. You are correct.
For a year, and we've been led to believe that he was to come to us.
Okay, the shelter and the city sent Memphis to someone else to take care of.
Not the city. The NCNN. That's who sent him. Not the. You have to get the facts straight. If you're going to say something, say the correct thing. You know, and I'm not arguing with you.
It's the city. I mean, it's however you all word it up there. But yes.
No. It's not the city. It's not however you word it.
It's not
it is
the city,
just the health department who transferred Memphis to the NCNN at that point, they were the ones running the shelter. They do not run the shelter anymore. And when they transferred Memphis, they did not transfer ownership. Okay,
yes,
do you see what I'm saying?
It says in the contract that the ownership belongs to the caretaker.
The contract that you have.
No, hold on. No,
the contract that she has maybe says that, but the contract that we have doesn't say that. And
there is no contract where there was a legitimate transfer of ownership
that we know of, because they haven't shown it. But do you see what I'm trying to say, Samantha? Is that if that was shown, we would have known that before. We wouldn't, you know what I mean? We wouldn't be here. But the whole thing of it is that they've been telling us, they've been telling us that he is to come to us. In fact, the mayor and the town council recently, stop screaming, recently just said, when was it, hon, when they brought it up again, when the mayor put it on the agenda, and then he said, by any means necessary, Memphis is to come to the Coltenbacks immediately. And that was way before.
And in the same tone, she's being told if Memphis is returned to that city, he's not to be returned. That city does not want Memphis back there. He is a risk.
The health department doesn't want him back here. That's who it was, not the city.
Why would you subject Memphis to come back to a place where people there aren't going to want him, and they're going to try and find every reason to put him down? He's fine.
Look, let me tell you something. I can guarantee you that if he's in our home, no one is going to touch that dog. I promise you that.
Nobody's going to touch him. He's safe where he's at.
Right.
He's fine where he's at. He's where he's told to go.
Okay. I understand where you're coming from. This is way more than Memphis right now, because now you're saying that there's documents that we signed that I know that I didn't sign.
Let me ask you this. So putting all the past behind and the future, let me ask you this. If you were to see that Memphis is safe and sound and fine and happy, would you drop it and leave him be where he's at? Simple. Would you do that? Would you let him live in peace and her live in peace?
We've been saying that from day one, that we want him to live a happy life in a home environment filled with love and a family.
And he's there, so can we just agree that if
and I'm supposed to take your word for that?
I'm
supposed to take your word for that?
Hold on. Wait.
I don't even know you.
I will fly there and get it myself.
I can't hear any of you. Listen,
Go ahead.
Go on, Jeff. Say your last piece, because it's actually come to the end of the show. So say your last piece.
Okay, I was just going to say Jennifer Lopez is sitting in my passenger seat right now.
And?
I'm just saying. I swear she is. I really swear to God. I'll show you a picture.
Okay.
You know, I will
fly there and get you what you need.
Anyone can say anything.
Right.
Samantha, and I will fly there once a month and get you what you need.
Right. I'm sorry, everybody. I've got to call it a night because it's the end of the show. But let me just say,
10 seconds,
I
Sue,
will
please.
forward.
Sue, 10 seconds I need. I need 10 seconds.
Hurry up. Go on. We've got like 1 minute, so quickly.
Okay. Right. Samantha, first of all, I want to thank you for calling in. I fully appreciate and respect your support of the situation. I really do. And Diana and I remain open to working through this amicably. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, now what I will say is that I will try and get some, I want to forward the documents that I've got to you, Jeff and Diana. I will literally get you to check them over. Samantha, I will speak or chat to you via email after the show and try and catch up and try and get some contact with you. And I will also be doing a show next week to follow up on this once I've gone to see if I can get any further, and I will see if I can talk to Caretaker again and see if we can make some contact. I want to say thank you very much to Cathy today because she's been with me on the phone. And unfortunately, we've only got 15 seconds left, so I want to thank everybody in the chat room. And I will try and upload these documents onto the Ask Sue Radio Show network as well. So thank you very much, all of you, for joining the show, and I will speak to you all very, very soon.